It is the
Right.
5th of September, Rabbi Levitt, Horeb.
Right. We actually we started this section and we read the first section of we read 418, so we're up to 419.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, take it away, Lou.
Take it away, Lou. 419. For dust thou art, and to dust thou wilt return, is the Creator's proclamation over the mortal frame. Dust is the frame of the human body as long as it is animated by the spirit of life. It is an instrument of the human spirit for human activity. When the soul has flown away and the spirit has hurried to its spiritual destiny, to Hashem, the body also should not be kept back from its earthly designation. That which was received to serve as the mortal frame of the soul should be given back to the earth and the air, to the water and the fire and the other elements, so that it might serve a new life formation in the household of creation. On the same day as the spirit hurries to its heavenly designation, the body should also find itself given back to its elemental designation. And only if time is needed in order to make the necessary arrangements and procure a worthy burial does the body still belong to the personality of the man who has passed away, whom it served as an instrument during his life. It may be kept back from its ultimate designation to such an extent as is necessary to ensure that everything appropriate to that personality has been arranged. The corpse should thus be laid in the ground and should be set into contact with the earth, which dissolves everything and takes things back into its motherly womb, though the body may be surrounded with walls of planks.
Okay. Wow. So the reasons of the neshama to return to its place, and Hirsch says that's the reason why there's this reasons with the goof also that it returns to its place. Okay. Basic point. All right. Okay, 420. Welcome, Alan. Good morning. Would you like to read? You have a red mic, Alan.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No. Page 420.
In Mayor.
Number
Hey,
420, right?
Good morning.
Yes, Alan, 420.
So thus burial is fulfillment of duty towards the human body and towards the elemental world in its demands upon the human body. This kubra is a duty towards the dead and towards the elements, but there's another side to it. Burial is also a duty towards the surviving world. It would be Bizion, a desecration of the human personality, to see the frame in which we all appear here and which bears the divine human stamp, disintegrate. That would be repulsive to the human spirit. and regard for the mortal frame should not be desecrated. Whenever a man steps towards you, you should never see in his frame the appearance of the clay form or the divinely stamped mortal frame. And the corpse is also brings tuma to his environment. Therefore, no one has the right to decide that he should not have a burial either for a certain time or indefinitely. For even if he is not interested in fulfilling the duty towards his frame, he must, as survivors, fulfill the duty towards themselves and towards mankind.
Okay. So okay. So we're first just explaining what is the what's the reason, what's the sense of the burial, so of the goof. So first thing he says is it's a fulfillment of an obligation, a duty towards the towards the dead and the elements. But there's another side, he says. It's a duty also to the surviving world that the goof should be have kfura, because it would be a bizoyon that would be that we see that a goof after the person has after the neshama has left it to just be motionless and decomposing. that wouldn't be a proper kavod for that person and for the, I guess, people in general. Would make it seem like, oh, there's, that's what a person is. He's just look what happens. No, that's not what the person is. The person is the neshama. This is his goof, and the goof shouldn't remove that aspect from people seeing it. Okay. Therefore, he says no one has the right to decide that he should not have the burial, either for a certain time or indefinitely. Meaning the person himself, because it's not only his honor that's involved, but it's also for the sake of the duty to the survivors and towards mankind in general. If people should not just regard the person as just something that decomposes and disintegrates. It's just it's repulsive. Okay. 421, we go to Mayor.
Okay. It says, excuse me, the first duty of burial rests upon the heirs of the deceased. If he has no heirs, or he or if he leaves no estate, then the community must bear the expense of the burial. If there is a corpse in the community, then no member thereof may do any other work until all the necessary arrangements for the dead have been made. During the funeral, all nearby should interrupt their work in hand in order to accompany the corpse. A child of 30 days old or more is to be buried with the appropriate funeral procession. In some places, the custom is to do so only in respect of a child of at least 1 year of age. The community should not take itself away from its business for the adequate burial of one who disengaged himself from the community during his life and presumptuously did not bear his share of the community burden. No more than is customary should be used up for should be used up for the sake of the dead one, deposited in his grave or destroyed for his sake. Shrouds may be made of shatnez. Oh, that's interesting. The male is wrapped in a talit, whose tzitzit are either made invalid or all hidden in the corner parts of the talit, symbolically declaring that the body served a God who served man, and now the time of activity is over. One should not clothe even a prince of Israel in garments of precious material for the grave. All are buried in linen shrouds. Choice is given in the quality of the linen, and by not taking a bad quality of linen, one expresses one's belief in and expectation of the revival of the dead. To spend too much on the linen is, however, considered a transgression of the prohibition on destructive waste.
No more than is customary should be used up for the sake of any nifter, deposited in his grave or destroyed for his sake. Okay. 422. Back to Lou, please.
During the existence of man on earth, the spirit, the soul, and its mortal frame are united in the bond of life, of human life. In death, the spirit rises above human life, and the body sinks below human life. Therefore, neither the body nor that which was purposely given to it in death, nor the ornaments which were attached to the body during death, may be taken back into the sphere of purely human benefit for use, whether directly or indirectly. But that which was only designated for the deceased, but not yet given to him, and that which touched him, but was not designated for him, and likewise everything which was used for his cleansing, etc., may be used. Earth which has been dug out for a grave may not be used for any other purpose. The same restriction applies to the gravestones. For example, one may not sit upon gravestones or make one's way over graves. So I'm a little confused about what is it talking about when it says ornaments for human benefit. It's saying if you put something on the body, then he can't be used for anything else?
Yeah, let's see. Reading this over again. The reason for this halachas that he's talking about is because during the existence of man on earth, the soul and its frame are united in the bond of human life. In death, the spirit rises above life, human life, and the body sinks below. Okay, so on account of that, he says, therefore, neither the body nor that which was purposely given to it in death, nor the ornaments which were attached to the body during death, may be taken back into the sphere of purely human benefit and use. But that which was, the language is difficult, but that which was only designated for the deceased, it was only designated for the deceased, but not yet given to him, meaning the deceased, and that which touched the deceased, but was not designated for him, or everything which was used for his cleaning could be used. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not sure what it says over here. Okay, the time frames are a little bit unclear to me, but the concept, the general concept seems to be that, right? In other words, just we know that the goof itself is halakhically off limits. Nothing can be, no benefits or usage can be derived from the goof or any part of it. So therefore, that which was therefore all these the ornaments which were attached to the goof during the death. Now it says during the death, that means after the death, I think.
Would that be maybe something that that was some medical equipment that was being used to treat the person as and it was attached to him while he was dying?
That must, yeah, this sounds like, so you're really saying, in other words, what he was wearing at the time of the death, you're saying that's what it refers to.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
The body, nor that which was purposely given to it in death, nor the ornaments which were attached to the body during death, may be taken back into the sphere of purely human benefit. In other words, those there's certain things which are also connected to and associated with the body, with the goof. They get the same status as the goof itself. They so to speak, they were pertinent to the goof. So you're asking, what happens if he had all this medical equipment, cost $100,000? And you're gonna say that you tell the hospital they're not going to be able to use that $100,000 medical equipment anymore. It doesn't sound like they're going to go for that one.
That's going to be a battle.
I never heard of such a thing. I never heard of such a thing. So I'm not really I know about what he's saying about the goof itself, but I didn't. And he's quoting Shulchan Aruch.
I'm wondering what is this word designated? What is that indicating?
That which was
You
only designated for the
attach a
deceased.
respirator and you don't designate it, and therefore it can be reused.
I don't know. Maybe the Shulchan Aruch is a little bit clearer than these words are. I don't know. We could give it a try. YD 349. I don't know. Let's see.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see. YD 349. That's where it is. YD 349. Okay. Four nine. Okay. Oh no, that's too far. Shin Memtes. Isser Hano Bama Bames Ubatach Richo. Okay, so that's the name of this simon. It's called the, here, let me not really set up over here to have this huge safer. Okay, this is in Shulchan Aruch Yoredeya Shin Mem Tes 349. Isser Hano B'Meis Ubatach Richov. We've heard of Tachrichin. Tachrichin is what is they refer to those as the burial shrouds. So the Shulchan Aruch says, oh, and this has just 4 seifim. It's a short one. Okay, so what does it say over here? Meis bein Ovid Kochavim bein Yisrael Tachrichav Asurim Bahano Bedafka Shehezminam Letzorko Benosnam Olav. Okay, so that's the first thing they talk about, the burial shrouds of either a Jew or a non-Jew. it's a halacha that they become asr b'hana, can't derive any benefit from them, and this is specifically in the situation where shehez minam, they were designated litzarko. So the designation means that they were made or bought or set aside for the purposes of clothing the nifter when he takes leave of this world. So that could have even been done before the person was mace. I mean, well, actually, that's another thing. We don't really make burial shrouds for a person before he's nifter. We don't do that. We only go about making those arrangements afterwards. But okay, so let's say that the person has already been nifter, and the family got these burial shrouds. V'nosnam olav, and they even placed the burial shrouds on the mace. So it's a very strange. So in other words, at that point, no benefit could be derived from the burial shrouds. Aval b'hazmana levad, but if they were simply designated to be used by the nifter, afilu osam litzarko, even if they were made for his needs, la'achar shemes, after he passes away, lo nesru, that won't asu these burial shrouds. They could be used for some other purpose if somebody for some odd reason wanted to use them for some other purpose. The hasmona lav milsa, because simply the designation that it be used for that purpose doesn't make it forbidden. Okay. And the other way is around. The other way around as well. Even if they put those shrouds on the person, but they didn't designate that from the outset that these should be for him, adayin lo nesru. Okay, fine. Oh, now this is the next thing that we're talking about over here. Noi hames hamechuborim begufo. Kagon, for example, peya nakris. If the woman that passed away was wearing a wig when she passed away, ukeyotzibo. So it was hers, and it was on her goof at the time. They become usher. You can't use those. You can't use such a wig. It doesn't go be Yerusha to the daughters. Kamo mace atzmo. It has the same din as the mace itself. Just like the mace itself cannot have any benefit from the mace. So too the lashon of the Shulchan Aruch is noi hames. That's why they translate it in our Horeb Sefer as the ornaments. So what's an example of that? The wig of the woman. Oh, and the Ramah actually has a kula, dafka kashehem kashurim b'asaros, only if they were connected, there was connecting hairs, whatever that means. Aval einan kashurin mutter, but if they weren't connected like that, they weren't attached, so then it would be permissible. You wouldn't have to you'd be able to have benefit from it. Oh, what about a ring? Ulachain mutter litol tabaot shebiyodam shel mesim ukeyotze bezeh. It's just a ring that was just on the finger, that's not called attached to the goof. And so accordingly, it would be permissible to pass on to the heirs. Okay.
So I would guess that a respirator would be like a ring.
Yeah.
It's not designated for the mace.
It's
It's
also true.
hospital equipment that's used that is designated for use for other patients also.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excuse me a second.
Not specifically designated for them. Imayo Avi Imo Mizrakim Olav Kalim Mitzvah Lachirim Latzilon Lo Nogu Bamita Hanigberes Imoy. Don't know what that's all about. Okay. Mizrakim Olav Kalim Mitzvah Lachirim Latzilon Lo Nogu Bamita Hanigberes Imoy. Sounds like a very some type of a minig that we're not familiar with. That Imayu Avi ve'imo Mizrakim Olav Kalim. Mitzvah lacherim lahatzilon. It's a mitzvah for others to be matzil them. In lo nogu b'mita. As long as they didn't touch the mita. Hanik beres ima. That he was going to be buried in. Some type of a minig that they would throw different types of artifacts or articles or different types of objects on the nifter when he was being taken out to be buried, and so it sounds like it's been designated for him, but the Shulchan Aruch says because they threw it on the on the coffin, but as long as it didn't if it didn't actually touch the coffin, so then you don't have the two requirements that would make it asur b'hana. You need designation, and you need that it came in contact with either the body of the goof or the coffin. I guess would also qualify. Okay, all right. So that's the halacha over here. So yeah, so that's what we would say would be okay. A little bit about that. Right, it has to be attached, not just like a ring. It's not really attached. Okay. Okay, well, let's go further. 423, we go to Alan. Please unmute, Alan.
Muted, yeah, I got muted before. Okay. The eyes and the mouth of the dead are closed. His nails and hair are cut. The body is clean. The survivors should still respect the brother who has passed away in his fraternal mortal frame, and they should treat him according to human custom. It's customary to smear the contents of broken eggs with the shell upon the head, thereby symbolizing the cycle of life and death, indicating that the passing away of man only means the going over to a different form of existence. If necessary, women may perform the last rites on male corpses, but men should never do so on female corpses. The face of every corpse should be covered. Children under 30 days old are buried without the usual coffin and without a funeral procession. Above 30 days old, in a coffin and with an adequate funeral procession. Above a year, an adequate coffin is usual, the community showing its sympathy by participation in the usual manner. An uncircumcised boy is circumcised with a potsherd or a piece of glass at the grave without a baracha, and is given a name concerning the funeral procession itself.
Okay. Very well. 424, we go to Mayor.
Okay, 1 second, or 24.
Bottom of the page.
Okay, it says, it has already been mentioned that the deceased should be laid below the surface of the earth, and he should there be set into at least direct contact with the earth. The position in interment should be that of sleeping upon the back. Each dead person should receive his special grave. At least 3 handbreadths should be left for the wall of each grave, but small children may be laid down into the same grave as father, mother, grandfather, and grandmother, perhaps also with brother and sister, with whom the small one usually sleep during their life. The small ones sleep during their life. Okay. A corpse may be exhumed from the grave with the intention of permanence only, in order to bury it next to the family or to take it to Eretz Israel. But if the grave was not intended as a permanent resting place at the beginning, then removal is permitted also for certain other purposes. If the grave is not safe through excavation or excavations or water, then it is a duty to exhume the corpse. A dead body should not be carried away from a town where there is a burial place, except at the express wish of the deceased. Planks which are found in a Beit HaKavurot should not be moved from the spot, as they might have come from a coffin. After the grave has been closed, it may not be reopened. All this flows from the repeat which we owe to the mortal frame of brethren that have passed away. One should not enter a Beit HaKavurot with uncovered tefillin or tzitzit, or with a Sefer Torah. one should say no prayers or words of Torah learning, either there or within 4 cubits of a corpse, unless this is done for the sake of honoring the dead. For it would not be proper to occupy oneself with the fulfillment of life's tasks, Torah and mitzvot, in the presence of those for whom the time of human activity here below has passed. One is nevertheless allowed to do so at a distance of 4 cubits from the Beit HaKavurot, or the corpse, or from behind a partition. Any disrespectful act or disdainful behavior is forbidden in Beit HaKavurot, as are eating, drinking, reading, computing, etc. Likewise, the pasturing of cattle, over graves, mowing, making a path across graves, etc., are forbidden.
So I presume that when it says you can't read, it's not talking about reading Tehillim.
No, he said before that prayers or words of Torah learning could be done if they're for the sake of honoring the dead.
Right.
Okay. So here you have an example of this halacha that we looked up. He says if you find a plank in the Beis HaKvoros, so you shouldn't move it because it might have come from a coffin. I'm understanding the reason for that is because since it may have come from a coffin, so it was something that was designated and used by a mace, and therefore it'll get the same din as a mace. And so he says you shouldn't move it. Understanding that would mean that maybe it's not the same halacha because it doesn't sound like the halacha is because of deriving benefit from the plank. It almost sounds like you can't even move it. He says, if it was for that purpose. Okay, maybe that is some type of a. In other words, you need to move it not to derive any benefit from the plank, but because but you need the space over there. I don't know. It's not 100% clear what the he says all of this flow. The reason for this is because it's kvod hames. Kvod hames to not. In other words, that was the spot. Perhaps that was the spot that the person was buried in with this coffin. So now all we see visible to us is the plank that was perhaps one of the things that was left over from a decomposed coffin, let's say. So it shouldn't be moved from that place where it was buried. The coffin was buried. So that's a different halacha. That's connected to this. We were talking about exhuming the grave. It shouldn't be the nifter. The body should not be moved except if there's appropriate reason. Okay. 425.
Yep, I think we hit time.
Oh, it's time. Okay. Very well. Thursday. Oh, it's past the time. Okay. All the best. A great Shabbos to Meir.